How do everyone? I'm Jake and this is Rave Vinyl Reminiscence, the channel where I share my passion for hardcore from around 91 to 95. You've tuned in to episode 4 of a 5-part mini-series where we take a look at 1 year at a time, pull together a little random selection, do a mix-up and explore what that year had to offer. Now we've got some nice little mixes from 91, 92 and 93 so far, and in this episode we're going to take a jaded jog down the avenues of 1994. How you doing everyone? Good I hope. April already, another year of our lives is flying by, eh? Well, we're back now to delve into another of the wonder years looking back. What was I doing in 94? Man, I was 20 years old. I had even longer hair, earrings, I had my right nipple pierced, long gone and held up in case you're wondering. Sometimes took myself a little bit too seriously, you know, like you do as a young man. Due to my apparent desire to become a crash test dummy, I was already the proud owner of Ford Fiesta number 2. I can't remember how long that one lasted. I was floating through my second year at college. I found my ID card while I was researching for this episode. If I remember rightly, that photo was taken in a photo booth that I had at a rave in Hastings Pier, which explains my enthusiasm. I began striking a questionable balance with my health by taking up gym training, obsessively as with everything. That's something that's remained constant and a significant part of my life ever since. Kept me sane through some tough times actually. In 94 we went on a lads holiday to San Antonio and Ibiza. Some of the faces there obscured to protect the not so innocent, except for my mate Bri there, who I've known since nursery school. We got some stories. That holiday was pretty nuts. Again, from what I can remember, partying the San Antonio nights into oblivion. Esparadis, Pasha, Cafe Del Mar. And then in the daytime making the most of that beautiful Spanish weather, the local cuisine and the rich culture. In the wider world, it was this year that saw the passing of the Criminal Justice and Public Order Act of 1994, hence the 1994 bit at the end. That bit of legislation drove a big rusty nail into the right to rave, despite the resistance. There was of course a big sigh of relief learning that under the new act, alcohol-fueled nightclubs, cigarettes at 16 years old and near on perpetual war were still good to go. It was just dancing around in nature, in love with the entire universe, that was a no-no. On a more musical front, I was absolutely loving my DJing and vinyl. Although it was getting harder and harder to find tunes that weren't turned into unsophisticated. I mentioned in an earlier episode that at one point I sold off a load of my tunes, particularly from this year, and a lot of them I never bothered to buy back because my tastes have matured over the years. The one thing that's really apparent is speed definitely seemed to be the thing at the time. The BPMs had wound right up. In fact, in a lot of cases, it had gone warp speed Mr. Sulu. It reminds me actually of a good tune I've got on Noise Factory. Must dig that out. But these super high speeds now are too much for my brain and my body. But at the time, we loved it. The faster the better. I remember actually a mate at the time had a tape player that ran slightly slow. So when he recorded a mix set with it, it was even faster when it played on a normal tape deck. It actually got to almost like a bit of a competition for who could do the craziest, fastest sets. Okay, so let's get on to the tunes we've selected for this episode. Once again, I picked out the first 8 tracks from the vault. See if I can actually get them all right this time. I got one from the wrong year last episode. I actually had to skip past a lot of tunes and my collection started to thin out a little bit because if you think back across all the episodes we've done so far, I have featured quite a lot of really great stuff from 94 already, particularly as my world was all about basement back then. And I have had a couple of people who have emailed me actually or in conversations that have said like, I can't even really think of much other good stuff that was around in 94 on the hardcore side of things. Well, the selection I've put together, I'm hoping will showcase some good stuff from that year. So I'll run through these tunes like I always do, and just as I have in the last 3 episodes, I'll do a little mix and reveal the next tune once it's crossed over. And we're getting closer to the end of this little mini-series, so pretty soon the full mixes will be getting uploaded and will be available for you to download on MP3 for each of the 5 years. So let's get started. First track is a massive tune. As soon as I saw it, I knew it had to be the opener for this set. This is a remix of one of my favourite tunes of all time from the year before on Impact Records. And it very much does it justice. After a short lead in, it literally explodes into life. That tune is Mystic and Fire's True Love remix. Spelt slightly differently for some reason on the remix. It's gone all like common, like, you alright love? This is so close, it's hard to definitively say which one I prefer actually. I think this has a little bit more balls in places, but the real standout change is in that heart-melting piano section. Much as I adore the original arrangement, this just has a little bit more to it. How good is that? The last section I want to play from this track is towards the back end, and it's this eerie part. It's quite different to the original, but very much in the same theme. So it's time for the first mix. As True Love exits that lovely section, we're queuing up the next track, ready to throw it in powerfully just after the little rewind. Classic vocals there, famously used in Dub War and my intro tune. DJ Pooch and Scruffneck Volume 2. Scruffneck being DJ Pooch's own record label, started in '93. 3 releases I think, Volume 1, Volume 2 and a remix. Really nice vintage kind of reverb piano sound there, and plenty of guts in the drums. The tune really cracks on at a pace until about halfway through when we revisit that piano section again. Short burst of that before launching off. So it's time for the next mix. This is a tune that I mentioned a couple of episodes back actually, and it has a real long smooth intro. I'm pretty sure there's some fluctuations in tempo here because I like to really babysit the mix to keep it tight. Druid and Vinylgroover, the Counter-Attack EP, and this tune is Summertime Vibe 94. Now, as I mentioned back in the 92 episode, back in the day I wasn't able to get hold of a tune that I really wanted, which was Psychic's Upside. We didn't have Discogs or eBay back then, so this was the closest I could get to a tune using that classic sample. Now, other than that theme, this is quite a different track, but it does have this beautiful piano section about halfway through, which cannot fail to induce a smile. As it unravels, it's underpinned by this lower octave piano that just sounds so rich. So as we return to that classic sample, it's time to queue up for the next mix. Many of you, as soon as you see the label, will know what this is going to be. Now, I chose these two tracks particularly to mix together because there's a little trick you can do on the decks. Particularly if you put down two of the exact same track and run them together, the tiniest little nudge out of perfect sync and you get this sort of wishy-washy, slightly spacey effect that comes out. It sounds really good on a big system. In the case of these two tunes, the drum pattern is so similar, we can do the same. This is Ravers' choice and Loving You Is Easy. This is a banging 94 tune that takes a classic sample from a tune featured in the Reinforced episode, Manic's Feel Real Good, from back in 91. Ravers' choice was a side project of Vibes and Wish Doctor. This is a super energetic tune with a really positive vibe throughout. Now that positive vibe is very much backed up by some really powerful and pretty interesting drum sequencing. So as the Ravers choice track returns to that classic piano sample, it's time for the next mix. For those of you who know the tune coming up, you'll recognise it instantly again from the label. I've left this mix till a little bit later in the Ravers choice track because at that point there's a little bit of a switch in flavour through the introduction of some almost techno kind of bass pads. These work perfectly because the drums for the tune coming in can really cut through the mix. Question Mark Volume 2, and it's an untitled track. Now Question Mark was actually DJ Red Alert and Mike Slammer. This tune used a massive vocal and piano sample from Blowout Part 2, which featured in the White Labels episode. It's a banging tune that keeps you on your toes throughout, switching up quickly to this sample from Prodigy's Everybody in the Place. This understandably slamming vinyl style track has loads of interesting drum sequencing, again really complementing the last track in the set. The last clip I want to play from this tune is this dirty little section with this really stretched, almost metallic-y sounding echoey drum. Okay, so next up is a tune that sits on one of a run of releases that span across 94 and 95, a number of which I'm going to be featuring in the next episode. This is a super short mix, as the lead-in is only literally a couple of loops long. So as the Question Mark track drops down, we throw it in. For the Floor Volume 2, and this is Beatmen. The tune is Peaked Up. Now I have seen this track listed as the artist being S&A, but I haven't been able to bottom that out. I own 7 releases on this For The Floor label, the label which was put together by the Beatmen, being Phil Wells of Basement Records and the awesome force of music production which is Ron Wells. This tune is an absolute cracker. It's a real classy 94 number with loads of lovely rolling drum sequencing and some really classy sections throughout. This next section features a great use of the Moby Go sample, layered with these haunting vocals. I love it. Nice. After a long run of tasty drums, we hit this big rave sample which fits the track perfectly. Right, as we exit that tasty section, it's time for the next mix. This next track is a big crank up in energy again. Very recognisable label for those of you who know. A real massive tune in its time and a must have for the 94 collection. DJ Force and Evolution, High on Life on Night Force Records. This is a blisteringly powerful track, overflowing with positive energy. Smiles are literally etched into the grooves of this bit of wax. It's one of a small handful of happy hardcore tunes that saw the back end of this era out in style. I love the way this just kicks off after this little scratch. perfect complement to the dust in the rearview mirror energy of this track, we have this beautiful, almost spiritual-like section here, allowing for a gathering of consciousness before launching off again into the frenzy. So that brings us to the last mix and the closing track for our 94 selection. It's a tune that sits on the flip side to one that I played back in the Great Tunes to Start Your Set With episode. It's by Higher Level, as many of you will know, with a butt-kicking duo, Chrome and Time. Before we play out, I'll share a thought. You know, looking back, it's weird, because in 94, it never crossed my mind this magical era was about to end. Don't when you're young, does it? We have just one more year to look at in this mini-series before this era's over. Come the end of 95, for me, hardcore was history. Well, as far as the original old school hardcore goes anyway. In 92 and 93, I never would have imagined that. It felt like it was going to last forever. I don't know about you, but one of the things that age has brought me, apart from more bills and less energy, is a real grasp on the fact that nothing stays the same for long. Nothing. On the one hand, this is sad, isn't it, when things are new or just right, or when we look back at special times and feel a sense of loss. But then knowing nothing stays the same for long is also bloody useful when times are tough, because that's what we can hold on to when we're in a situation or a time of life we don't want to be in. It's also the knowledge that can help us better appreciate where we are today and what we have. Because if everything's always changing, what the crap else matters more than who we're going to be in this situation in the next moment and what direction we're steering that change, however subtly. Anyway, talking of change, the last mix. This final track has quite a long run in, but there's a lot of potential clashes between these two tracks. So I've grabbed a little clean break section right at the back end of High on Life to throw it in where it can work. You better tell from the crossfader just what blistering speeds this last track is capable of, as I've got it pitched down quite low to fit in with the rest of the mix. I hope you've enjoyed taking this journey with me. We're going to play out with Higher Level, Everybody Can Be. Take care, love to you all, I'll see you in the next episode.
Sound.